Today I'm going to be reviewing these Hypertiles. They're recently sent to me by the brand. So I'm going to go and open these up, show you exactly what they're going to look like inside. So these are going to be the actual tiles themselves. So they're going to be kind of oddly shaped. They're not going to be your typical like squares or anything like that. These are going to have like an odd shape to them. And then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to kind of pull out this bottom side. And it's kind of stuck, of course. Let's see if I can get that out. There we go. So just a little piece of plastic. So there's going to be a storage bag, and then there's also going to be all of your connectors. So these are not actually going to have like built-in connectors. So for example, when you're talking about like Legos or something like that, those are going to have built-in connectors. These are not. So it's going to take individual connectors that you're going to have to put onto here. So essentially it just takes you like putting those connectors in place like so. And then you can connect your next Hypertile over to it by just, again, putting it into place like this. Now, the thing about this is it gives you a lot of versatility. These are going to be relatively tight inside of these adapters, but it's going to give you some versatility in regards to movement. But you can see, how I can move this around like this, how I can move it around like that. So it gives you some movement and some versatility. The unique shape of this does give you some interesting ideas for building. So for example, say I wanted to use this like as a roof, I could then have to try and make walls out of this. And so then you'd have to put these little things on. So your connectors on, and then you could put your thing right here. And then you could rotate this down so that way you could have like a rooftop type of a deal, and then have like a building like walls, that sort of thing. Now, here's the thing about these, I guess, that is not a disappointment necessarily, but something you'll want to keep in mind. Since this is going to have a lot of small pieces, so you got all these little connectors, you do have to make sure that whoever you're giving this to or buying this for is old enough where they're not going to lose all these little connectors. Because once these little connectors are gone, it's pretty much done. So you can make a lot of fun shapes, fun designs out of this. You could easily like connect this up and use it as a base. Let me try and do that. Make like a little spire out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one onto here. And I'm going to add this little guy here. And you can see this is also going to require a little bit of dexterity that would probably not be present. Like I've got a 6-year-old. These would probably not be very good for her just because of the dexterity that's required. Having to push pretty decently hard to get those into place. But now I can have like a semi base that's going to be on here like so. But then again, you can see it's not going to sit flat, right? So on this case, if I'm trying to make like an actual base for it to stand up on, I might have to connect something here in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Connect it to this side and then see if that will then allow it to stand. And yeah, kind of. You got to kind of mess with it a little bit to get it to kind of stand upright. And I did eventually get it to stand upright, but obviously it's not 100% upright just because of the designs on these hyper tiles. So if you're looking for something that's going to be more of a basic building set, this is not going to be for you. This is going to be more like someone who's trying to like learn geometric shapes, those sorts of things. Now on the box, it does give you some general ideas on like cool ways that you can use to stack them. So you can go like this and you can see how they expand, different ways they can build up. Talks about some different information. It's also going to have some instructions. I believe in the instructions it's going to give you some general ideas of things you can build. So you can build like, this little starfish, or you can build a little chain, or those sorts of things. Let me go to the other side here. You can build a little hat. So you're just making a tiny little tricorn hat, 3 tiles, 3 corners. It's showing you how the connectors work, that sort of a deal. But again, this is going to be something that would definitely be for older kids, not for younger kids. As younger kids will not truthfully be able to figure out like all these little connectors. They're going to end up getting lost, that sort of thing. So you can see here how they recommend that you kind of do it differently. You're not going to want to do it like this, like that 3, because it won't stay up because of the shape of these hyper tiles.